Hello everyone, my name is David. Thank you for watching today's video. I made today's video because I get asked quite often, that people say that we're married or dating a person with narcissistic personality disorder. They ask, why did they never want to have sex, ever? And they said they've been like this their whole life. So I wanted to touch on some of the things that might be happening, might occur, so that you guys can better understand what was happening in your relationship. Things like this can easily make victims of abuse feel like it's them. They're ugly, they're not good enough, there's something wrong with them. So I hope that if I can just touch on a few things that make sense to you, that you understand, you'll realize that maybe it wasn't you, that this is a problem with them, and understand what that problem might be. So, without getting into the cerebral narcissist too much, just to be general, the somatic body, cerebral mind, kind of like that. The cerebral narcissist may tend to be asexual, may never want sex or have sex. Many of you victims have been in relationships with narcissists, didn't have sex, or once, twice, maybe that's it. So this is avoidant behavior, isn't it? I'm really avoiding that type of behavior by doing nothing, by being passive, right? I believe this is conditioned response to some degree. And it may not be sex so much. If you look at somebody who is extremely hypersexual in life, in their adult life, quite often you could trace that back to some type of sexual abuse in their childhood, and this is how it's coming out. Children who have been molested or raped, they may learn to get what they want with their body or by sex. They may learn that that works. I think this is similar. I think somebody who doesn't have sex at all in their life, now let me first say, there's all kinds of different reasons, okay? And this could be medical, for sure, it could be medical, okay? There could be reasons people don't have sex, and all kinds of medical reasons that they don't. And so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking what I believe to be emotional. And it could be biological, right? It's emotions, your body reacting, and this is a biological problem. That might be what's going on, I think. So, conditioned response, it may not be like I was talking about the child who was molested, maybe hypersexual in adult life. It may not, I'm not trying to say that people who never have sex in their adult life, or almost never, that something happened directly correlated to sex. But what I'm trying to say is that sex is or has to do with our emotional part of life. It can be a very emotional act. So, and someone having sex like a one-night stand is a lot different than someone having sex with their wife or husband in a 10-year marriage or something, right? Totally different. So, what I believe is something happened in their life, in a narcissist's life, who doesn't want to have sex with you, their mate, their partner, their wife or husband. And I believe it's the emotional part of their life that has failed. And they don't know what to do, how to handle that entire part of their life. You see, our brains, and I apologize for people who have heard this before, but I want to make this clear that your brain controls different parts of your life with different parts of your brain. There's a part that controls your work life, part that controls your emotional life. So, and I've said this before, an example of how you know that is often you can have a bad emotional fight with your loved one at night time, and the next day go to work and be able to manage through the day. Not that it's not there or gone, but it's not as prevalent. You can kind of put it on that back burner until you get home at night. The fight continues. So I think that the cerebral asexual narcissist tries to avoid the entire emotional part of their life. The avoidant attachment style, which many narcissists have, is they seek attachment with people, but when they have it, they push them away. As they get close, they push them away. I think over time in their childhood that there's been conditions where every time something has to do with their emotions, their emotional part of life, it's a real bad, horrible, traumatic experience. You know, we all react and respond differently, especially to trauma. So I think this is a conditioned response over time. And the narcissist is the underdeveloped child. They didn't finish developing as a child, the emotional part of their life. And that's why their relationships fail. They don't have the capacity, tools to have a very, very in-depth, involved, functional relationship. Over time, their childhood, maybe in their early adult life, as they began to maybe experience sex, these failures killed confidence, and I think they just completely avoid it altogether. Or narcissists are full of shame. Totally shame-based people. They experience lots of things in their childhood that told them they're bad people. They don't face it. They don't deal with it. They never healed from it. They counter it with their ego. And I think they avoid sex, attachment as much as they can, and vulnerability altogether. And counter that with an ego of, I'm great at my job, I'm smarter than you, look better than you maybe, or I have more money, you know, things like this. Because a narcissist who's been hurt in their childhood, who will not allow themselves to be vulnerable, is telling you, you will never hurt me. But you have to be vulnerable to have a functional relationship, emotional relationship with somebody. So they're saying, I won't be vulnerable, I won't have sex, I won't take my clothes off in front of somebody, I won't reach orgasm with another person. Vulnerability, that's what I believe. It's easier to completely avoid that part of my life so that I don't fail. And therefore I can focus my attention on what I'm good at and do well, and now I'm a success. Well, or maybe in one part of your life, but not the other. And the emotional part of our lives is the most important. It really doesn't matter what we do. Kind of only matters how we feel about it, right? You go do great things, you feel like crap. So I hope that makes some sense and helps you guys understand why maybe your partner, your husband, your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend wouldn't have sex. And the narcissist who doesn't have sex because they're full of shame and don't want to be vulnerable and don't face that type or that part of their life at all, that type of narcissist can never and will never have a functioning relationship until they learn to do that. Anybody. And it's not that you have to have sex, right? It's not about just the physical act. It's about the vulnerability and learning how to function and have skills and the capacity to have an emotional relationship with people, to talk and ask for what you want and tell them what you don't want, things like this. This is hard for a narcissist. Impossible, maybe. So just avoid it altogether. Altogether. Screw it. And you'll see this with people. It's not just narcissists. People will do this in their life. I have a problem in this area. I won't even go there. A lot of people may not have sex, maybe virgins, you know. They'll say, oh, I'm saving it for marriage, and they'll end up being, you know, in their 50s or something. I just haven't found the right man. I don't know. I think you're avoiding attachment and relationships altogether. So the narcissist wants attachment just like everybody. They seek it, they date, they get involved in a relationship, but I will not give you what you want. That's vulnerability. And I will not even address this emotional part of my life. And that and what usually will come with that is not being open, not sharing my emotions, not being honest with you. So I'm not going to even talk about emotions either. I'm not going to talk about commitment, responsibility, apologies, and stuff like this. I'm not going to talk about that. That type of man or woman typically won't talk about those things very well, may not know what they want. Hope that shed a little light for you guys who have been in relationships with people like this, and you want to know. And you know, there's all kinds of different reasons or possibilities it could be. This is just one. Any other things you guys would like to share, add to this, please go down below in the comment section and add more. Tell your stories, experiences, so that other people that watch this video later can go down there and read it and try to understand this more. All kinds of different reasons. That's just one. The complete, just completely avoiding that part of their life, and they associate sex with whatever they're avoiding. It may not even be the act of sex, like I said. It's the vulnerability, the incapacity to function at that level. Just like some women and men will have one-night stands all the time. And then they get involved or attached with some relationship and they stop. You know? Thanks, guys. Add some more if you'd like to. Take care. Love yourself first. I'll see you again later. Bye.